Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Startup Show brought to you by Inc. Authority. I'm your host, Trevor Rowley. You know, in my experience with entrepreneurs around the country, one of the things that they are interested in, sometimes even faster than getting their corporation, their LLC set up, is how soon can I get my bank account set up? They want to start transacting business. They want to get that account set up. They want to start making deposits. Maybe they have checks that they need to write or expenses that need to come out of that bank account. And it's absolutely critical to them that they can find a bank, get a bank account set up, and get rolling right away. And to take us through the process of what that looks like, and to help us avoid some of the pitfalls that sometimes can happen as we seek out that bank and want to get that bank account open, I'd like to welcome to the program Justin Holden, who's a banking specialist at Inc. Authority.
Thank you, Trevor. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Good to have you. So, as a banking specialist at Inc. Authority, what's your job? What do you do?
You know, it's a great question. So basically what I do is I kind of help our clients navigate the initial first steps and getting them, making sure that they have a bank that they're planning on getting set up with, and really just helping them walk through that initial phase.
Yeah. I know that some business owners, they kind of get overwhelmed a little bit at the prospect of having to deal with a bank, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, what do I need to take to the bank in order to open my bank account? Are they going to ask me any questions I don't know the answers to?
Yeah.
You know, and plus there's just always the pain factor of going into a bank branch.
Absolutely.
And having to deal with the bankers to get everything set up. Nobody likes to wait in line and go through all of that. But
yeah.
In your experience, as you talk to these brand new customers, these are individuals who they've come to Inc. Authority either on Inc. Authority's website at incauthority.com, and they've established their corporation or their LLC, or perhaps they've called in and they've talked to a business startup specialist because they had questions that they couldn't get their answers to online, and that business startup specialist helped them get their corporation or their LLC set up. I mean, very soon thereafter, they're thinking about, I need to get my bank account set up. As soon as that company's registered, as soon as I have those articles of organization in my hand, I need to get to the bank, right?
Absolutely.
And so this is where you come in.
Yeah.
And what's that first conversation like?
You know, it's really exciting. A lot of these people are really passionate about getting their business off the ground. They've had a really good experience with the initial nervous steps. And now a lot of people like to think about the fancy things like getting in business credit and all these things to really get and the banking can really get overlooked, and it's really an important initial first step. And so when I talk to people, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I need to get that taken care of. So, once you get your EIN and you get your articles, yeah, we start that conversation and try to get you pointed in the right direction to get an account set up.
Yeah, so the bank account really is a foundational piece, right? So if somebody were wanting to build business credit for their business, they're going to have a bank account set up before they can even go down that road, right?
Absolutely.
For a startup business that wants to get into its initial location, they want to have that business bank account set up so that they can start, paying for the expenses. Maybe they're writing that check for that first month's lease, et cetera. So banking's super important. Now, before they can go to a bank, there's some things they need to do, and you mentioned one of them, an EIN number, employer identification number, taxpayer identification number, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the number that the IRS assigns to a business. It's sort of the equivalent of an individual's social security number. They have to have one of those.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think one of the great things is that with Inc. Authority for our customers, we get EINs or help that customer get their EIN so that they've got that, right?
Yeah.
What else are they going to need to have before they really start talking to a banker?
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a great question. So when it comes to getting the account set up, some of the things you need to have in place, definitely the EIN, the articles or the business registration with the state. Those are the two big pieces, but also your operating agreement that's completed and tailored to your business. And then some banks may require some additional documents as well, such as a certificate of good standing on rare occasions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some banks, again, every bank's different, right? Because
Absolutely.
They're a business, they're going to have their own criteria, and so no two are alike necessarily. But generally, those things that you've mentioned, every bank requires, right?
Absolutely.
And then I've heard of banking resolutions sometimes that banks require, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes they have their own paperwork for that. Other times they want the customer to bring that in, and Inc. Authority can help them with that as well, right?
Absolutely.
So knowing what you need to have in order to get the bank account open is really important. But what are some of the reasons why somebody should go through this process at all, as opposed to just, using their own personal bank account.
Gotcha.
Small business, it's like, come on, this is really a small business. I'm just running this. Do I really need to go open a separate account? Is there some considerations here?
Absolutely. That's a great question as well. I have a lot of great questions. So as far as that's concerned, I answer that question on a daily basis. So why can't I just use my personal checking account? Well, you're starting a new business to separate yourself financially and legally from the business. So if something were to happen. So it all comes back to the paper trail and money. Well, that's a big part of it. And then what you touched on to a little bit earlier, business credit development, they're also going to want to see that financial separation as well. So getting a business checking account set up as soon as possible really helps with those things, but also just to make your life easier as well. So instead of like trying to determine what your personal finances are versus like the business finances, you can just log into your business account via the app. All banks have apps, or they should. And yeah, you would just go through your finances and everything's right there and super easy to manage.
You know, you've made an incredibly important point, I believe, when you talk about separating your personal finances from your business finances. I think a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs out there understand, you know, that setting up a corporation or an LLC, for example, is the first step in separating your business life in terms of assets and liabilities from your personal life. But sometimes they forget to carry that through on the financial side.
Yeah.
But it's just as important, right? It's that same
Absolutely.
principle of separating business from personal. And so it becomes, I mean, it should be kind of a no-brainer to set up a business banking account for the new business and not to commingle your business's funds in your personal account, because
Absolutely.
you can run into problems potentially with even damaging the corporate veil protection, the limited
Absolutely.
liability protection that one was looking for when they set up their business entity. So getting a business bank account, absolutely essential and should be one of the first steps that anybody takes.
Absolutely.
So I've made the decision I want to do that. I know what I need to present to a bank. What should I be looking for in a bank in terms of choosing that banking partner, the one that I want to go open my account with?
You know, that's a great question, and a lot of people ask me, what is the best bank? You know, it's like asking what's the best car. It all comes down to your lifestyle. What is your business going to be doing? Where is it located? And what is really going to be the most convenient for you and your business? So some of the things our clients, you know, just like everyone else, everything's a fast-paced environment. And a lot of our clients, frankly, are working on someone else's dream while they're building their own. And time is, you know, it's a rare commodity, and you're only losing it. And like you stated, going into a branch can be a hassle with being understaffed and being down the street, traffic, whichever. It's like, who's really going to cram in that 30 minutes after the end of the day when they got other things to do? So convenience is great, and having the mobile technology to get most of your banking needs taken care of. Really clean processes of being able to transfer funds and being able to apply for additional services as well, just strictly, you know, through the website or app.
Yeah.
Seems to be a really big thing for most of our clients, saving time. And so there's a lot of banks out there that can assist with that. We're conveniently partnered with Bank of America. It really helps out a lot of our clients with that.
Yeah. You know, as I've spoken with business owners over the years, I've heard a lot of things too as far as the preferences of what bank they want to use. And some are convinced that they want to use, you know, a small local bank where they already have a relationship, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Others want bigger banks where they know that they can have access wherever they are around the country, that they're going to find ATMs or branches that they can work with. Others are just concerned about whatever bank it is they choose, having the services available to them that they're going to be utilizing. Maybe they need to have merchant processing. Maybe they are going to need to send wires. And so depending upon the different types of banks, some of those have those services available, some don't. The fees that are involved with those services. So all of those things come into play. But at the end of the day, they're looking for convenience, aren't they?
Absolutely.
And this is, I think, another strength that you have at Inc. Authority is you make it easy for customers to set up the bank account.
Absolutely.
Even to the point where you may not even have to go into the bank branch. By working with you as a banking specialist,
Absolutely.
or one of our other banking specialists at Inc. Authority, we can work together and kind of be that liaison with the bank to get the account set up without them ever entering the branch. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that's a great point. So with it, a lot of people being busy and needing that just ease to get things done. They're super busy. They are building their own brand and company while they're working for someone. The vast majority of time, most people don't just show up with 6 months worth of savings. They're like, no, I want to get this started now. Time's of the essence. And to be able to, connect people in a really simple manner, to get them connected to a warm voice on the phone that is stateside and that can just sit there and speak with them and guide them through the initial setup, and then also go over additional services that might be important to them going down the road, such as credit card services and different lending options and many other things, such as payroll services. Instead of like going down, they're sitting there trying to do what they got to do, having this conversation, and they get everything taken care of in like 20 minutes.
Yeah. And the convenience of being able to do this all over the phone, getting your account set up, using the technology that's available to do that, really, really great. You mentioned Bank of America is a great partner at Inc. Authority.
Absolutely.
And of course, it's a well-known bank, known around the country, and a lot of our customers take advantage of them. I know that other partnerships with other banks are available as well, and so if somebody, for whatever reason, doesn't want to do business with Bank of America, there are some other options as well that they can take advantage of through our partnerships at Inc. Authority. I think that another thing that's important for people to know is that very frequently banks make offers that are pretty attractive to new business bank accounts, saying, hey, come use us as your bank, and they'll give some cash back for various things. I know those offers change. We won't go into the details here because they change pretty frequently.
Absolutely.
But by contacting you, you can make sure that that business owner knows whatever the current offers are so that they can maximize any cash back opportunities that might be available from a bank. If they open their accounts there, and if there are some activities that they do through the bank, they can get some cash back, which is great. I'm looking for free money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if a bank's willing to put money back into my account, if I open an account with them and maybe use them for credit cards or something like that, I would love to be involved in that. So you're on top of all of those all of the time.
Absolutely. And what's the number one thing you need, when you're starting a business? You need more capital. What company starting doesn't need more capital? So when you just going through a process that you're already going to be going through, you can just why not take advantage of an offer for some extra money, for however much that is?
Yeah.
A little bit or a lot, everything matters.
Yeah. So, let's say I am a business owner and I'm a client of Inc. Authorities. I'm watching this video and I'm like, I haven't got my bank account set up, right?
Absolutely.
And so you call the number and you say, I want to talk to Justin Holden. And so you're talking to him. What does it look like? What happens next, and how do they get an account set up?
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a really streamlined. I ask a couple questions, see like what you're looking for in a bank, and see if we have a good fit with one of our partners. Go over the options and get you connected to the appropriate person who can really guide you the rest of the way. Sometimes partnerships don't work, and sometimes we are just fortunate to have some really great ones that can cater to the vast majority of businesses.
Yeah.
And for a lot of our clients, I hear on a daily basis just how much it really helps out to really just be able to guide these people going through a really stressful process, because they're doing it for the first time and they are confused. They have this dream and vision, and they just need to get the traction on the road, and they thank us for the resources, and including banking, to get that going for them.
So I've called you on the phone. You've helped me determine which bank, the banks that you have available, is the best for me.
Absolutely.
And then you've kind of got like hotlines, right, where you can like direct connect me to a phone banker, so I don't have to go in person to a bank branch anywhere, and I can pass that information along. But Inc. Authority also makes it easier because some of the documents we talked about that you need to present to the bank,
absolutely,
you have a way of getting those to the bank. So even if I can't find them, or you take care of that for me. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we do have an integrated system to where our clients, when they want to move forward with our partners, they don't even need to have those documents on hand. A lot of people are out in the field working, and they have the small window on their lunch break, and they might not have everything in front of them. And so basically with our system, we're able to get those transferred over to the banker, which again saves time. It's super convenient, and really makes the process as seamless as possible. So for our clients that are on the go, like most Americans are today. Go, go, go. Look, we got your back. We got everything here. We get the details over to the bank, and it's really just a few things going forward with them.
So, you hear sometimes, it's kind of cliche, you hear somebody say one call and does it all, right? But it really is the case. Here with banking, I mean, you call Justin Holden and one call takes care of it all, and you can get a business bank account set up with one of our preferred partners, and away you go.
Absolutely.
And so you really do make it incredibly easy. You make sure that they're taking advantage of any offer that's out there, and you're off and running with that business bank account. That's pretty incredible. Yeah,
absolutely, and it's a pleasure to really help people and hear the stories about the difficulties, especially when we were going through the COVID crisis. That was unbelievable. All the banks were closed, and the fact that we had the documents and we could get everything taken care of over the phone, and even now with staffing shortages and long waits pretty much everywhere, it really does help out a lot of people. Takes that additional stress off their shoulders, and it really just takes that service that we're able to provide just an unthought of next level.
Yeah, if you can prevent me from having to go wait in line somewhere, spend an hour or two of my day to do this, you're my hero. And so I definitely want to take advantage of that.
And then people pay Disney for the Dash Pass so they can go straight to the front of the line, and we just do it for free.
Yeah. So once again, one of the incredible free services and benefits from being a customer of Inc. Authority. Any success stories that you can think of? People who you've talked to that were desperate to get a bank account and you're able to get it done right away, and in many cases it might have saved them a deal that was pending based on them being able to get money out?
Yeah, actually, I had one today, actually, a client who was overseas, and they're trying to get a massive check. They got their articles and EIN processed, and but they're overseas on vacation, and they got a notification to, hey, we're going to go through with this contract, and we need a bank account to send the money to. What are you going to do? You're in the middle of France and you need to set up a U.S. bank account. Well, I got them on the phone, got them connected to a banker. They got their account set up in 20 minutes, and they're accepting the check tomorrow.
So one call took care of it all. 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
You're a hero. They're happy. They've got their check processed, and these stories happen again and again and again.
Yeah, every day. Absolutely.
Well, appreciate you joining us today, Justin. What a pleasure to visit with you and to learn more about this process of getting bank accounts open and of how Inc. Authority makes it easy for everyone. And thank you for joining us today on the Startup Show. We look forward to continuing to bring you this excellent content. Make sure you don't miss any of it. Hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of our content. We look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.